Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you a very simple and delicious recipe for a homemade pizza. It's lectin free and gluten free, and it's one of my family's favorite recipes. The first step that you're going to do is get a bowl, and you're going to put 1 tablespoon of instant yeast into the bowl. And then you're going to put about 1 tablespoon of honey or a sweetener. This is raw local honey, but you can also use 1 tablespoon of Swerve granular, just some kind of sweetener that's going to activate the yeast. 1 cup of warm water, and pour that inside as well. Next, get a whisk and just whisk it together. Okay, so we're going to leave this to sit for 5 minutes. So the yeast, honey, and water have been sitting for 5 minutes, and you can see that a coating has formed on top. It's a bubbly coating, so now we're ready to add the next ingredient, which is a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. You can also add a tablespoon of avocado oil instead if you like. And just give that a stir. Now we're going to add the flour, and we need 3 1/4 cups of the flour. And so what I'm putting in first is 1 1/4 cups of almond flour, then 1 cup of arrowroot flour, 1/2 cup of tapioca flour, and 1/2 cup of coconut flour. We stir that and mix it all together. So see, now it's really starting to stick together and look like a dough. So that is ready to be rolled out. I have made my own all-purpose mix, but if you don't feel like adding all of those flours and putting them together, you can just purchase some pre-made flour mixes and add 3 1/4 cups of those flours. So this is one that Bob's Red Mill makes. It's called Paleo Baking Flour, and it has all the same ingredients. You can also use this one that you can buy on Amazon. It's called Bake Good. So at this point, let's preheat the oven to 420 degrees. 420. So now it's time to make the pizza. The first step is to make the sauce. We actually make our own tomato sauce using deseeded strained tomatoes that we pick from the farm. My husband loves to can them, but they actually sell strained tomatoes. A lot of companies make them, and so this works as well too. All you need to do is just pour some of that into a bowl. Then we're gonna sprinkle some oregano inside of that. Then you're gonna pour in just some onion powder or onion granules. Stir that, and that's gonna be your tomato sauce. I've grated here some Gruyére cheese. Costco sells a really giant block at a good deal, and that's from Switzerland, so that's approved. But you can also use a really truffle cheese on top of this pizza, or goat cheese. Any kind of sheep's cheese is compliant, so you can use that as well. I have a silpat mat on top of a baking sheet. This just makes it easier because the pizza doesn't stick to the mat, so you should probably try to use a silicone mat or maybe some parchment paper. So now we're gonna get some arrowroot flour again, and we're gonna sprinkle that onto the silpat mat. Okay. And just rub it a little bit with your fingers. You can rub some of this on your rolling pin as well. If you're going to just roll it straight, I'm actually going to use another silpat mat and roll it on top of that. So I'll just kind of take some of that flour as well and put it on top. For this recipe, I'm just going to cut the dough in half and kind of mold it into a little disc like this. I might take a little more dough. And this should make a good medium-sized pizza. So roll it into a disc, and I'm going to sprinkle some arrowroot on top as well. There. Place it right in the middle of the sheet, and then cover it and roll it. You can roll it to about 1/4 of an inch thick. We like our pizza pretty thin. We're gonna slowly peel off the mat. It's okay if some gets stuck to it because we can always pat it back on, but nothing really got stuck, so that's looking really good. Let's spread the sauce on top. Now, I actually really like a white pizza, so oftentimes I'll just use some truffle oil or extra virgin olive oil and forego the red sauce. But you know, you can feel free to get creative. You can make your own sauces, and to your liking, a Mexican pizza or a buffalo pizza, just get creative. Okay, so now we're just gonna add the shredded cheese on top, and this is about a half a cup of cheese. And now we're gonna put it in the oven to bake for 10 minutes at 420 degrees. So while the pizza is baking, we can go ahead and store that extra pizza dough in an airtight container in the fridge. We can just put it in like that. And I like to, if you want to make little pizzas throughout the week, maybe for lunch, you can just open this up, sprinkle some arrowroot powder, and roll it out and make some little pizzas. So the pizza's been cooking for 10 minutes and the timer has gone off. Oh, it's looking nice and yummy. So I am gonna now at this point turn the pan and cook it for another 5 minutes. That is looking nice and dark. So we are gonna take it out. Okay, so now we can just go ahead and cut the pizza and see what that looks like. Let's take a look. Oh, that looks so good, and it tastes just as good as it looks, really. My kids always say, this tastes like there's gluten in it, and that's always a good indicator to me that it is a pretty good pizza. It's not grainy, it doesn't crumble, and it's quite delicious. So, hope you enjoy.